Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Christy Alonso. This is sort of an award season movie.
You think so?
Sort of, I don't know. It was closing night at Toronto this year.
Maybe you need a Spirit Awards nomination for Haley Steinfeld.
Maybe, yeah. Anyway, The Edge of 17.
Okay, so if you love John Hughes movies like I love John Hughes movies, if you forgot what you had for breakfast yesterday morning but can still recite every single word to 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club like I can, then you will love The Edge of 17. It very much hews to that John Hughes. I did not even mean to do that. That's how good I am. It follows his formula of some very, very biting humor, but also some bittersweet heart to it. Haley Steinfeld is just lovely as this self-loathing teen named Nadine, whose precarious world crashes all around her when her only friend starts dating her big brother, and lots of wacky stuff takes place. Take a look.
But that's what best friends are for.
Oh my God, Nick is like right there. God, Juby made him so hot.
And I had Krista.
Krista!
Oh my God! What the fuck?
Seriously? My brother?
Think about how shitty this is for me. I can't help how I feel.
What if I liked your dad?
What if I gave your dad a hand job? God. Oh, Louis, wow, you look so hot with that belt phone.
Ew.
Oh, no. Oh, Chris, you're home early. I'm not even gonna respond to that.
So.
Yeah, this is a very funny movie.
Yes.
She's great, and I love her sort of prickly back and forth with Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson's her history professor, or history teacher, who he can dish it out as well as take it.
Yes.
I think he almost enjoys their little spats, their little
Oh,
lunchtime
totally.
spats.
Yeah, like that's their relationship, you know. But yeah, what I admire about this movie though is that it gives you these characters that you think are just going to be like foils to our teen girl heroine, you know, like the big brother who's a jock and popular, or the harried single mom or whatever, and almost everybody in the movie gets some compassion thrown their way before the thing is over.
Right. There are some surprises, and I will say that also, as much as I love John Hughes, you look back at like 16 Candles in particular, and there's some very broad
Sure,
types,
yeah.
Some very broad and kind of cringe-inducing
And some racism.
ethnic stereotypes, right. And so, in a lot of ways, this rights some John Hughes wrongs.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to the Asian character in this film.
Yes.
Hayden Zetto is adorable.
Super charming.
He's charming, he's charismatic, and the fact that at first you might think he's like the nerdy Asian dude in class, but
Right.
that he emerges as not just like her hero, but also a heartthrob is
Yes.
really lovely, and they have great chemistry, and he brings a lot of warmth to this. This is a lot darker and sadder and truer than John Hughes in a lot of ways too.
I think it acknowledges sort of like poor choices that you can make in the heat of the moment when you're an adolescent, you know, and the sort of ramifications of those. Yeah, more than Hughes, I think, was willing to go with, but not to the point of being a bummer. I mean, like it you know, sort of like, yeah, you can make mistakes, but they don't necessarily have to be the end of the world, and you can move on from them and learn from them. And I mean, I don't want to oversell this thing. It is exactly what it is, you know. But for what it is, it's quite good, I think.
Yeah, Kelly Freeman Craig. This is her feature writing and directing debut, and yeah, it moves along really beautifully. It's nicely paced. It's very zippy and zingy, and self-aware and yet not cutesy. I mean, she takes Nadine's struggles seriously as any teen herself does.
Of course.
Everything is super important and magnified, and it's the end of the world. And this movie acknowledges that is true, but also Nadine can laugh at herself quite often for her own ridiculousness. And
Right.
and yet she's such a jumble of hormones and immaturity that she can't enjoy the fact that she's the smartest person in the room at all times. You know, so she's an interesting jumble of contradictions.
But later
going
she'll
on
make
here.
a movie about it, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, I like this movie a lot, and it's really smart, and it doesn't necessarily try to tie things up in a nice tidy bow. In that way, it reminds me of like some later John Hughes stuff, like Some Kind of Wonderful, where they're more Pretty in Pink. Like there's melancholy that comes into it, and it's not just hilarity and verbose teens. So yeah, I dug it a lot. Haley Steinfeld is enormously versatile at a very young age, it seems, between, you know, maybe 6 years ago she was an Oscar nominee for True Grit.
Right.
She's a pop star. I don't know any of her songs, but I know that they exist.
Right.
But here she's believably awkward and nerdy. It's not just like, oh, look, it's the pretty girl pretending to be awkward and nerdy.
Right.
Like she sells it.
And it's not like Juno where it all feels so written, you know, like that. As much as there are things I like about that movie, but there are times where the dialogue is so sort of self-consciously arch.
Yeah.
This felt more like how clever people talk. You know, I mean, and so I mean, yes, it's heightened and it's witty, but it's not like so, you know, mannered in the way that some of
All of Diablo
Cody's
all
stuff
of
can be.
Diablo Cody's writing. Right.
Oh, I like the pilot for One Mississippi.
I didn't see that. So I should mention also that the older brother was played by Blake Jenner, who was really good in Everybody Wants Some.
Yes.
He is the older brother here, and again, he could be a type.
Yes.
He could be like an obnoxious jock, but there's more going on with him than you might expect.
Yeah, that's
as
that's a
well.
thankless role that they let be something before the end of the movie, which
Yes.
is nice.
And one cute little thing I want to point out. Clearly, Kelly Freeman Craig is a fan of John Hughes. The first time that Haley Steinfeld gets up the courage to talk to the cute bad boy she has a crush on, you know what song is playing in the background?
No.
It's True by Spandau Ballet, which is in the 16 Candles soundtrack and a very
Nice.
pivotal moment in that movie there. So that cannot be a coincidence.
No,
Clearly this is an
sure
homage.
not. I didn't catch
so
that. That's
I
funny.
appreciate. I laughed out loud. I think I was the only one in my screening room going, Spandau Ballet, nice. So my number is an 8.5.
I said 7.5. It's fun. You should totally see it.
Okay, our average is an 8. It is at 93%
Whoa.
on the tomato meter. So in this season of self-important heavy stuff, this is pretty lovely.